But we got the Bucs and the Lions here. Lions laying 7 at home. Sharp money, big money coming in on the Lions here. 73% of the money on the Lions, and the Bucs catching 7. This game is interesting to me because this was a rematch of the playoff game last year, where I believe
we got them back to back with the Lions. We got the Lions Rams rematch, and we got the Bucs Lions rematch in the same venue.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, we had a 31-23 win for Detroit, and it's back up in Detroit. Mayfield, if I remember correct, I think the Lions were controlling this whole game, right? Like there was some garbage time scoring in this one, right?
We had a shot. We had a shot late in the game there, but it was one of those games that never really felt like Detroit lost their grip on the game. You know, they just kind of methodically handled business. Baker did throw the pick late where we had a chance to go down and win it there, but it never felt like the Bucs really had a chance late in that game.
Well, what do we think about this one, Robert?
Yeah, we had a big 5% play on the Lions last year in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
Over at sportspicks.locals.com. We all put the odds in your favor. If you want to be a member, you can sign up in September and enter discount code 2024 and get half off monthly subscriptions. If you'd already been a subscriber, you would have made, you would have made enough to cover about 10 years of subscriptions in just the first month.
Can't beat that.
It's been cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Been very profitable week after week so far. So let's see how it keeps going. But I think this line is too big. I mean, that was a miracle cover by the Lions last night. You know, once it went up to 4.5, and you get the overtime touchdown to do it, it was like but my under bet was pretty safe, even in OT. You don't get to see that very often,
right?
I mean, I think Lions are good, but it's like the Lions and the Texans. People are putting the Super Bowl, and I'm still not completely sold. The Rams, though beat up, were leaving that game very late. So in Detroit, Tampa Bay. Now the question I have is what is Tampa Bay? You know, Washington has one of the worst secondaries in the league, so that might be a unique one-off performance. Or is Baker Mayfield just cooking there in Tampa? That he's got the wide receiver core. Now they still can't run the ball. They're not going to run the ball against the Lions. They couldn't run the ball last year. The question will be, how does Baker Mayfield do on the road in this situation? The Lions have been a covering machine under Dan Campbell, so not a lot of people want to step in front of that freight train. But if it's already up to 7, if you can get that 7.5, I'd stick with the dog again in this situation.
I liked what I saw from the Bucs last week. I agree with you that we don't know what we can see from them. But the reason why I like the Bucs last week against Washington, other than the change everything rule that went against Washington, was you saw the Bucs playing that game. They looked like a veteran team that played together, in which they are. They know each other. Baker looked calm. Even when he's getting sacked, he's still slinging the ball into like not bad passes. He's getting it out to his guys. He knows they're out in the flat. So they're familiar with each other. Now the Lions are too. They're very familiar, but I just don't know what I'm going to get from the Bucs week in and week out, because it seems like they always have a couple good games stretched, and then they go back to being the Bucs, and then they're just a roller coaster of a team. I will say this: Todd Bowles is terrible against the spread in his career, but where he is the best, he's something like 65% against the spread in weeks 1, 2, and 3. So this is a good time you want to bet on Bowles if you're going to bet on him.
Yeah, I'd just be very careful. This line to me looks awfully funny, man. I don't think it should be that high. I think it should be probably more along the lines of about Bucs plus 4.5. The Bucs looked very good last week, and you saw the Lions' struggles in Sunday Night Football there with the Rams having to come back and win that thing. But I just don't feel like they should be giving the Buccaneers a touchdown right now. So it's almost like, much like Tennessee and Texas last week in college football, it feels like the books are begging you to take the Buccaneers right here. And it just almost looks too good to be true for me, man. And especially if it even moves up anymore, if they move it out to 7.5 and they're not afraid of that touchdown, it almost feels like a spot for the Lions to me, just because the Bucs looked very good last week. Baker was out there doing the thing, didn't throw any picks, 4 touchdowns, no picks. And you saw him spreading the ball around. The defense looked solid. So everything should tell you that they should not be a touchdown dog right here. To me, it tells me that. Like I said, I think it should be more around 4 to 4.5. So I think the books are almost begging you to take the Buccaneers. So I would be careful with that.